Good morning, everybody, and good morning from Una as well, because our childminder is running slightly late due to a flat tyre, and I wanted to stay on time, on schedule. So hashtag reality. Here is what my morning normally looks like when I'm not on calls all by myself, and when the childminder is normally taking her out. So say hi, Una. That's a good face, isn't it? Yes, good morning. Morning, Annabelle. Nice to see you. Morning, Claire. Oh, look, my dad's even joined. Morning. Say hi, Grandad. Good morning, everybody. Like I say, my childminder is about to walk in the door any minute, but I wanted to stay on time to make sure I was here for this chat. Yes, this chat. And what we're going to be talking about, Una, we are going to be talking about two business essentials that you need if you don't want to keep relying on more social media. Claire, morning both, looking fab. And actually Una is on my grid on Instagram this morning as well and getting lots of love there, even though this face is just a little bit grumpy this morning. So what we wanted to talk about and what we wanted to tell you all about, didn't we, was we know that social media is something that people have a real love-hate relationship with. Una doesn't know what it is yet, luckily, but she does know what the camera is. So she's fallen in love with that. But a lot of people all this year have really been saying to me, I don't want to be doing my business relying totally on social media. It's very stressful. I got a discovery call request yesterday from someone saying exactly this as well. I don't want to be having to rely on social media all the time. I want to be able to do business, get inquiries without having to pump content out onto Mark Zuckerberg's channels, which I totally agree with. As a lot of you will know, I took 2 months off social media so that I could take the summer to have a bit of a break. Oh, we need some toys now. And over the summer, and actually it was brilliant, and it reminded me of all the different ways that we can market our business that aren't social media. And the two that I cover in my group course, The Core, are the two that I think it's best to get started with before you start with social media. And those are having a website and having a mailing list, particularly if you are going to be operating online and finding your clients mostly online, then that is really important. And that's why in the order of what I do and how I present things, morning, Powder is here to save the day. When I present things in the core and I take people through the 12-week group program, we start with website and then mailing list before we look at social media content. The reason for that is I know a lot of you, like I said, don't want to be pumping out a lot of content all the time and creating like being hooked up to your phones. A lot of us, because we are interested and understand about our health and well-being, don't want to be gripped to our phones constantly and don't find that a healthy way to build a business. We actually want to, morning Laura, I've got a little helper with me this morning. We actually want to be doing business in a way where we have that balance and we're not glued constantly. Thank you, Paula. We're not glued constantly to our screen. Say bye, Una. Bye, everybody. Bye. Real life. So what I think is really important and what I try and get people to focus on first in the core is looking at getting a website set up and then building a mailing list through that website that you can then build your own community and people to talk to outside of social media. And I know immediately when I say to people, you need to start a website or, get a website built, it feels really scary. It feels really overwhelming. It feels like, a whole load of tech that you do not understand. And what I help you with during the core is to look at that tech and really break it down and help you realize it's not as complicated as you think it has to be. There are lots of brilliant platforms these days to help you create a website. I highly recommend one called Squarespace. There's a little, oh my goodness, hiding emoji there. Let me know if you've got any questions about any of this. And I know the tech overwhelm does feel real, but I really recommend Squarespace for building websites. It's beautiful, it's simple to use, it's nice and easy for you and the user to use the website. And basically it gets you found. That's the most important thing with a website, is rather than feeling like you have to be constantly gripped to your phone, sharing content, connecting with people on social media, if you can position your website right, and what I teach you through the core is what to put on that website that will get you found, you are then going to be showing up on Google search engines by your ideal customers. And that means much less push and effort and hustle for you, and much easier way for your customers to find you. And let's be honest, people don't come onto social media necessarily to find a solution to their problem. They go to Google. I don't know about you, but I go to Google to find a solution to my problem. If I've got an issue with Una, for example, I don't know what to feed her, or whether I should be giving her supplements, or whatever else it is, I go to Google. I don't go to social media, because social media is there. Yes, oh my goodness, morning. And that was Una's little debut on my lives this week. I go to Google, and that's why it's so important to have a website. We actually had someone come through the core last time who, as she was working through the module, said, oh gosh, I think, well, I might just start with an Instagram account. And we had this really fascinating conversation where actually some of the other girls said, I've tried that approach, and actually I would really recommend that you listen to what Vicky's saying and start with a website first, because that is going to help you get found and found by the right people and really establish you as well. I think having a website gives you that kind of gravitas, that presence. It means you don't have to keep explaining what you do and how you do it and how you work, because it's all going to be on the website. So what I do in one of the modules in the core is talk you through website building, and we just focus on 5 key website pages. I don't want to overcomplicate it. It doesn't need to have huge amounts of content and resources on there. It just needs to have 5 essential pages, which is what I take you through. And I even give you templates for how to write those pages and how to create those so that they really engage people and get inquiries. I was having lots of lovely chats with people in the direct messages yesterday on Facebook, and one person did say to me, who I'm not sure if has been able to join live, what should you put on your website? What is important to put your website, and what isn't important to put on your website? And that's really key. So remember what we've been talking about with all of these pillars. Week 1 or day 1, I was telling you about the ideal customer. What you need to put on your website is who you help and how you help them. And that's why we start off the whole of the core and everything that I do with that knowledge and that information. So what I want to see when you come onto your website is being hit between the eyes with, what do I get when I'm here? Like, am I in the right place? I immediately need to see that information when I land on your website. Morning, Kira. What I don't need to see on your website, and this is going to shock quite a lot of people, is all about your credentials and all about your qualifications. Yes, they are important. They are important to you. They are, of course, important to your customer, because they want to know that you are qualified and that you are professionally accredited to do what you do. But that does not need to be the first thing that you see. What they need to, that stuff can absolutely go on your website, but it can be going somewhere like at the end of your About Me page, or maybe on your footer to say who you're associated with. But it absolutely does not need to be the front and center thing. That your qualifications are not the bit that people buy. What people buy is your ability to solve their problem. And so that's what I should be seeing on your website. So I think having a website is super important. I know I'm saying this to you all via social media channels, and we will talk tomorrow more about social media, but I think having a website is way more likely to get you found by the ideal customers. And what we also do during that module is look at how to SEO, how to search engine optimize your website, how to get your website up on that first page of Google. What is your ideal? If your ideal customer is looking for a certain thing, how do you get on that first page of Google so they see you and click into your website and come and make an inquiry to you? That's what we do. And we don't do anything technical, because I literally don't know anything technical about the internet or websites. We do it all in total layman's terms, how easy it is to do. Morning, Meg. Meg joined us for the core last time, so I'm just explaining all about websites, Meg. What I also then suggest you do, and really highly recommend that you do, is have a mailing list sign up on your website, or have a mailing list sign up anyway, even if you're just using social media at the moment, so that you can start to gain an audience of your own. Now, this is so important, because remember, with social media, we don't own the contacts here. I mean, it's lovely. Morning, Claire. It's lovely for me to say, you know, I've got nearly 6,000 people following me on Instagram, and I've got 800 people in this Facebook group. And isn't that wonderful? But you know what? Mark Zuckerberg could just pull the plug tomorrow on all of that, and then I'd have no audience. I'd have no one to talk to. So if I honestly was going to concentrate on one thing, or these two things that I would be doing in my business to ensure you always have an audience to talk to, it would be build a website so you're getting yourself found and people clicking and finding you, and get an email list. Because when you have an email list, you have people to talk to, and it doesn't matter what happens with the social media platforms, what happens with the algorithm, what happens with monetizing it, which they're obviously all trying to get us to do, pay to be seen by people. We're no longer fighting with all of that. We actually, morning, lots of people signing on Instagram. We no longer have to rely on that, and we can talk to people directly via our mailing list. So what one person, again, I was having lots of lovely chats in the Facebook direct messages, and if you want to direct message me with any questions about mailing lists and websites, anything that I've said today, please do. Someone was asking me yesterday, I have a mailing list, but how do I fill it? So that is one of the key things we cover. We actually spend 2 weeks in the core looking at mailing lists. We firstly look at creating a lead magnet, a freebie, something that will be really enticing and really help your ideal customers. And we look at ways to design that. And then we look at how to actually set up the mailing list, actually with a few automations in it, so that actually it can be doing a lot of the selling and communicating and building trust with people without you needing to be present. And again, this is all done with free tools. The tool that I recommend, MailerLite, is fantastic. And if you have less than 1,000 subscribers, which most of us do when we get started, that is a completely free tool where you can automate things and get people signing up to your mailing list without actually needing to lift a finger. You could be lying in bed. Z is just saying there, do people actually read the mails that are sent? This is really interesting. Statistically, everybody uses their inbox in a completely different way. I personally look after my inbox quite carefully. I curate what I have in there. I unsubscribe from things I'm not interested in, and I only subscribe and stay on people's mailing lists that I'm really interested in, and I actually know them, and I like the products, and I'm actually interested in what comes out of it. It won't be perfect for everybody, but it is your best way of building an audience that actually you can talk to at any time, rather than being reliant on an algorithm with social media where things can change. Or I know a lot of you feel frustrated. You look at your stats and you think, I spent ages creating that caption and that graphic, and only 17% of the people following me have actually seen it. So otherwise I'm going to have to pay to get people to see it. That's really depressing. Whereas if you send emails, they are way more likely to get seen and get read by people. And again, statistically, and this is what I show during the core, I actually show you statistically what the evidence is that people are way more likely to buy from receiving a marketing email than they are to buy via your Instagram account or your Instagram shop, for example. People expect to be sold to have marketing emails. They want to, if they've signed up for your mailing list, they like what you do, they know that they benefit from what you're doing, and they're more likely to buy from an email than they are from your social media. Social media is great, and we're going to cover it tomorrow. Like, I'm here, I use it, it's fantastic, it helps build that know, like, and trust. But a mailing list is more likely to convert into sales. So that is why I recommend having a website and a mailing list before you start worrying and fretting too much about social media. They can and they should all work in synergy. But that is lots of hearts on that one, why I start with that, and why, like I say, when we came through the core the last time, we had this conversation about, should I start with socials or should I start with the website? And I recommend, the reason I've put it in this order is because I know a lot of you don't want to be here constantly present, putting out content all the time. You want to have a way not completely passively, but in more balanced way to receive inquiries. And that's what a mailing list and a website is going to do for you. Someone did ask me in the direct messages yesterday, how do I fill my mailing list? My key thing here is the lead magnet and telling people why they should sign up to your mailing list. A lot of you, if you do have mailing lists, will be saying things like, sign up for the latest news or hear from me weekly. That is not good enough. That is not going to cut it. Remember what we were saying, like our inboxes are this curated space where we don't just want any old bump. And long gone are the days where you just want to hear from someone on a weekly basis about what's going on in their life. You have to tell people why. What is the benefit to them of being on your email list? They don't want to just be sold to all the time. There actually needs to be some value for them. Of course, what you're selling is going to be of value to them, but there needs to be a mix, a reason. This is why a lead magnet helps, a freebie, a download, a little audio book, guide or a video guide, or just, a checklist or something like that. And again, we spent a whole week on the call looking at this and how you come up with that particular freebie. You have to tell people why they should join your mailing list. And also combined with that, how to fill it, you have to tell people why to join. And then you also have to keep talking about your mailing list all the time, or keep talking about your freebies all the time, or keep talking about why people need to be on your mailing list. What are they going to get? What is it exclusive that you're going to be sending there? Or what is it that people are going to get the first chance to hear about? Or whatever it is, you absolutely need to tell people why to be on your mailing list. Not just, I have a mailing list. Oh, I'm sending a mail on Monday. Do you want to receive it? That's not enough. Why? What's the outcome? What's the benefit to them? And again, this always links back to who is the person that's receiving this email? What is it they need help with? And then you are more able to deliver that with mailing lists. So let me know if you have any other questions about mailing lists, any other questions about websites. I'm very happy to answer them. Like I say, this is something we spend 3 weeks on in the core. And one of the other amazing benefits before I go of the core is that when you are writing pages for your website, we actually have a expert copywriter, a professional copywriter that will come in and will assess your words and give you some feedback on it. Because I know a lot of you will think, oh gosh, I have to write pages for my, I have to write an about me page, I have to write a sales page for my products. That feels really overwhelming. Even if Vicky's giving me a template, what you can do is have a go at it and then share it with a copywriter, and she will give you some professional feedback on it. And that's all included in the core. So that was a massive benefit to people when we went through the first round. Meg's just saying there, having my mailing list and blog helps me feel like I'm not shouting into the abyss, which is something I know we all feel with social media in particular. It was a game changer getting those set up. I'm really glad, Meg. Thank you for sharing that. And I felt the same, particularly with my social media break over the summer. I kept thinking, oh, I want to share that with people. I want to tell people about that. But if I'm not using social media, how do I do it? I have a mailing list. I've got people I can talk to. I've got people that say, Vicky, I like what you do. I really like your content. That's where I could be sharing it. And it's going to get read and seen by way more of those people than if I share it on social media and only a fraction of them get to see it because Mark Zuckerberg wants me to pay. So I'm going to leave it there. Like I say, drop into my direct message if you've got any questions about either of these topics, and also to let me know if you think the core might be something getting set up with all of this stuff would be good for you, so that we can say together, holding your hand through it all, by January, you've got things like knowing your customers, getting your packages, getting your mailing list and your selling all sorted, and your website. And then tomorrow, I'm going to tell you about how I help people inside the core come up with content and go out and find customers as well, which is how we finish off the course. So I will see you all again tomorrow morning, maybe with Una, maybe not. Let's just wait and see what happens. And yeah, drop into my direct message if you've got anything else. See you all soon.